Okay. Got great opportunity for our kids to go to Hawaii. Be a great educational experience. It's the 75th anniversary of Pearl Harbor, and going to be able to take our kids on a tour of Pearl Harbor. Go out to the Arizona, stand on the Arizona and look down and see where the oil still seeps up from the ship, and just really give them some perspective on what actually took place there in a really important day in the history of our country. And I'll pose the question to them and ask them, how would you respond? What do you think it would be like to wake up on a Sunday morning and having your neighborhood bombed? Because that's what happened. I mean, what would it be like for you to wake up on Sunday morning here in Starkville and there'd be planes flying everywhere and bombing us? I mean, that was obviously a horrible, horrific day in the history of our country, but we responded like a tough, hard-nosed country would. And so it's going to be a great opportunity, and I'm really excited for my kids. They've got family. A lot of them have family. Dom's got family. A lot of them have family going, and then we got to play 3 really good teams. We open with Oregon, top 25. Where are they today?
They're receiving votes.
Okay, and so they got the #1 high school player in the country, Linescu, on their team. She's lighting it up, and well coached. Kelly Graves, a good friend of mine, coached at Gonzaga. They beat us in the NCAA tournament a while back, but then we got to play San Jose State and Hawaii after that. So 3 good days of competitive basketball, and but a great way to spend Thanksgiving, and again, a great educational experience for our kids. I'm really looking forward to that opportunity.
You mentioned last week being the hunted for the hunter, and last night your team celebrated, but in the past there's been some bigger celebrations against teams that weren't ranked as high as Texas. So it seems like your team's really learned to play like a top 10 team. What's it mean to get a win like that this early in the season and now match the highest ranking that the school's ever had?
Well, again, we beat a really good team last night in Texas. They are very talented. They're well coached. Coach Ashton and her staff do a tremendous job. It is, to my recollection, it's the highest ranked team we've ever beaten here. And they are really good. And to see our kids really play at a high level, especially in that second quarter, but even in the first, to be able to match them, seemed like our baskets were contested heavily, their baskets were layups. And until we could get that stopped, and then that second quarter, to be able to go out and execute like we did, hold them to 1 basket. It's hard to do, y'all. And then get punched a little bit in the third quarter, but have a response. Like I said, going in, we're going to find out a little bit about our basketball team. And I think we did. I think we found out a little bit about them. We saw what being in a game like that against a great basketball team. We saw that we're able to compete in that environment, that we're good too. And what a great crowd, great environment, what a great college experience for our kids. And I'm just proud about that, and our fan base, providing these kids with that opportunity. But I think the big thing too, you got to realize it is in November. So we'll learn from it, we'll grow from it, but we got to keep getting better. I think that's the challenge with this team. After every victory, we got to learn to get better, not be satisfied.
Any similarities between this trip and ones that you guys have taken in the past?
Well, 3 games in 3 days. I think we had that last year in Puerto Rico, and that's always tough. That third day can really be a grind. I think the competition in this event is probably as good, if not better. Certainly opening with Oregon will be a big test for us out of the Pac-12. Maybe gone a little bit longer, but the opportunity to be gone over Thanksgiving allows us to do that. So, but from a historical perspective, from an opportunity to learn and educate, no, we've not been on anything like this other than the foreign tour.
Playing the 3 games in 3 days, how much will you have to rely on your bench count and maybe extending it even more?
A bunch. I think that's been my message to our kids is, hey, keep working, be ready, because everybody's number is going to be called on this next weekend. And, you've got to be smart. And at the same time, we've got kids that are ready, and they're getting ready. Again, I thought our bench last night was fabulous. I mean, when they came in with whatever 5:50 to go, and we go from up 7 to up 12, those kids did a tremendous job, and they didn't score against us. And it allowed me to rest Dom and Victoria and Morgan during that stretch. And Jasmine Holmes was spectacular. She just did a really good job and was energetic, confident. She had a presence about her on the floor. And again, Roe and Blair, I thought were really good. Blair was communicating in our zone, which we hadn't worked on very much. And she was communicating, getting people in the right place. And so it's good to see.
Don, what have you seen from the team throughout your few years, especially the last two, going from, Victoria needing to have a big night to now, you and Morgan hitting big shots when matters. You talked about Roe and Jazz and them. What have you seen over the last year from the development of the program and girls kind of stepping up?
I think it just starts in the off season. There's always people saying, we have to help Tori, and we want to get the pressure off Tori. So it's just about working at your shot and just being more confident. And me and Morgan have definitely been in the gym, and we're definitely trying to help Tori. And I think any given night that anybody besides me and Morgan can help get the pressure off Tori. So I think any given night it could be anybody scoring.
Dominique, as a player, how do you separate the fun that you get to have on trips like this from the business at hand, and how do you, relate that to some of the younger players that maybe haven't taken a trip like this?
Just, you have to remember it's a business trip, and we're going there to win 3 games, not just win 2 or 1. So it's all about winning first. And, there is going to be fun, but there's always a line between fun and business. So just got to be weary of it.
Coach, if I was going to draw a parallel 2 years ago to the preseason NIT, and you beat West Virginia, who at the time was ranked, and then obviously you beat Western Kentucky to win the title. Fast forward to last night, similar points in the sense that victory against West Virginia was, in my estimation, a confidence booster that propelled you on that winning streak to open the season. Obviously, you're at a different point now, but are there similarities in terms of what, knock on wood, you hope the win against Texas is going to propel you?
Yeah, I don't know what the future holds as far as after this game last night. I think the West Virginia game kind of was our first big win. It's first win. It was our second win over a ranked opponent. We had beaten Georgia, remember that first year, when they were number 11 in the country. But I think, what's happened between then and now, there's been a lot of bigger wins, let's face it, even in our conference play last year and the year before, really. And from a conference perspective, from a perspective of, is it the highest ranked team? Texas is by far the highest ranked team, and man, I'm telling you, 7 McDonald's All-Americans there are really talented. And again, I thought our guard play was outstanding last night with Morgan, Dom, and Tori, and then the ones we brought off the bench were able to give them a blow. But I think what's happened between then and now, there's been a lot of big wins. And so I hope last night gives us that confidence, shows us, hey, if we're who everybody thinks we are, you're supposed to defend your home court last night. Let's face it. That's how I look at it. Even though they were higher ranked in some polls, we're at home. We got to defend our home court. And I think we've learned how to do that. And again, I think our crowd allows us to do that. It's such a great environment in there. You ask our kids, it was fun, and our crowd is into it. So, yeah, I think I'm hopeful that it will propel us, and obviously we can draw from it and get some confidence from it, and build from it.
Do you hope at some point that there's a time when you're taking that if out of that front of that sentence and speaking that confidently about your team? Because you said if we are.
Well, I've been addressing that. If we're as good as everybody thinks we are, my answer to that is it's time to live it. That's how I've been telling them, hey, let's live it. Now, what's living it? It's how you practice. It's how you sleep. It's how you eat. It's how you go to class. I mean, if we're as good as everybody thinks we are, then that we have to play that role and walk the walk, and not just talk the talk. And again, going from hunter to hunted, I think that's just a completely different role. And we're probably going to be the hunted in just about every game we play in. And that's a completely different role. And so I'm anxious to see how we continue to grow and respond in that role. I think every night's a new night. You're going to get everybody's best shot at them. And the challenge for us is to give our best shot every night. And sometimes with young kids, that can be a challenge. But, and here's the other piece of that. Most of the nights, right now, we're going to give our best shot on the road. And so we're not only going to have to play well, but we got to play against somebody else that's going to get to play at home.
Dom, tough to put you on the spot a couple of years ago, but do you remember that West Virginia game and what that was like, and if you recall any boost from that victory?
It was a big win for us, just being a great team like West Virginia. I think it did give us confidence, just, beating them, being a ranked team, and just knowing that you are as good as other ranked teams. I think it does give us confidence.
Was there a similar sense after last night's game?
Yeah, there was definitely, it gives us confidence, but I think we know how good we are. It's just about living it, just like he says, every day. And, we beat a great team last night, but today we got to come back and practice and work on the things that we did wrong, and we have to build on what we did last night.
And you guys have talked the past couple of seasons about living it and doing it every day, and the transformation has gone from the hunter to the hunted. How do you feel about being maybe more in that role just about every game you see?
It's not really any pressure. It's just, coming out right and coming out strong. You always want to punch first. I think that's the biggest thing, coming out strong. That really helps in the game. So just coming out with the right mindset and focus.
Do you think that there's more of a comfort level for you and your teammates being in that way?
I don't think you should ever be comfortable just because, someone's always trying to come get your spot, or someone's always coming after you, so you can never be satisfied.
Any other questions?